You're done. We're done. Here we are. Hi, everybody. We're live. Dorothy and I were just discussing the coming year, and she, as she wisely mentioned, we're going from a 9 year into a 1 year, and that makes a lot of difference if you follow the number cycles in your life. It also works for the Earth and for the years and for the world. So, you want to talk a little bit about that part, Dorothy?
I do. I'm just getting it running live on my channel too. So, hey everybody. Yeah, so 2025 and 2026. So we're going to start with 2025. Of course, as we were talking about this a little while ago, it's a 9 year. And so one of the important things that we're focusing on this year, I'm going to focus on a lot of the astrology too, but a general overview is, in 2025, we've all seen an awful lot of things sort of just to break down, to degrade, to start to disintegrate, and just to stop moving forward, right? And so we see that a lot. So, and we have that with a lot of, as well as a lot of the astrology, which is a lot of the planets at the very end of each of the zodiac signs.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy around that is about a heightened focus of completion and finalizing things. So 9 year in numerology, a lot of tying up loose ends, seeing a lot of things just finish up and end. And then again, with all of the planets that we've had at the very end of their cycles, the signs that they're in, we're just honing in and focusing in on those individuals, planets, and signs. And we can talk about them as we go through today's conversation. But then we get into the next year, 2026. That's a 1 year. And so when we get into that, this is like, it's a new cycle, because, numerology is a 9 year cycle. And it symbolizes fresh starts and courage and self-direction, if you will. And so this is the baby intention of a number 1 year. And we get to start to direct ourselves, if you will, towards the things that we want. But they overlap a bit. And while these, even though January 1st is like the flip of a switch, we have things, as things are ending and we're ready to initiate some new things, there's just a lot of overlap. And so we're going to have throughout the year, especially the first part of the year, the first quarter of 2026, as planets are moving into the new signs that they're going to stay in now. They won't retrograde back out like they did in 2025. So we have these opportunities for us to really start to focus on fresh and new. And I mean, of course, the big one everybody's talking about is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 Aries. And that's going to be a great opportunity for us to initiate a lot of new things. But Neptune enters Aries in January 26th. I believe Saturn enters Aries, re-enters Aries February, where is it? February 13th. And the conjunctions on February 20th. And just those three opportunities here is just going to be big for all of us to slowly approach what it is that we want out of our lives, especially when we get to look back at where we've been and what has been sort of just breaking down and, not working anymore. So, I mean, we can all see that in the world around us. There's no doubt about that. So many different things that are just breaking down, right?
Yeah, right. And some of it's stuff that was already broke, but nobody was looking at it that hard.
You're not wrong. That is so correct.
And so now we get to really look at it and see how we're going to move forward with it. And I've studied just enough astrology to be dangerous.
I know you have. Good for you.
And people need to understand that in the chart, it goes from 1 to 29. That's the 30 degrees. That there's 30 degrees in each thing, but they're marked 1 to 29.
Right.
And you think about 29, it's like it's taken all the stuff it can, dragging itself through that sign to come to the end of it. And sometimes they don't let go easily. Sometimes they hang on, you know. They're in that way, their temperament's much like ours. I had a therapist one time who said to me he's had talked to people and he's noticed that when people finally let go of the one thing that they most needed to let go of, it was covered with claw marks because they wouldn't let it go.
I know it. I know. It's just really dense too. It's just like, you know, when the planets, depending on which one you're talking about. I mean, Uranus has been in Taurus since May of 2018. Now it did pop into Gemini for about 4 months, approximately 4 months this year in 2025. Yeah. But for the most part, I mean, it's not going back in until April 26th. It goes back to Gemini. But in the meantime, you know, when planets like Uranus spent 8 years for the most part in one sign, it's just we have a long time when it comes to the outer planets, Uranus, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, especially those four, that we have a long time to work through things and to understand what the energy and the vibe of that planet in that sign is showing us. And so just to shift back to some of the other ones, that Saturn, Neptune, they make a conjunction approximately every 36 years. It's right around 36 years. But the last time they were at 0 Aries, I don't even know.
They've been able to find it. Somebody told me they ran it through all of their programs and they couldn't even recognize.
I listened to Pam Gregory on something on a different podcast, not an astrology podcast that she did. And she said a colleague of hers looked it back and it was like 4000 BC or something.
Yeah.
Which was the last time they came together at 0 Aries. And so this is such an opportunity for us in current time. There are so many things about what modern society is that we're really needing to start to change. And, you know, so if it takes that long, you know, we might not see the end of this, but we just don't have that. Well, if we reincarnate, we might. But point is, we all have a wonderful opportunity to figure out what you get to contemplate this. Especially, this is great stuff to do at at the end of every year.
Right.
We like to, on every calendar year, we like to look at what we're leaving behind or what we've learned for the year, so we can set new intentions ahead. But you know, you're going to want to wait. I talk about that in my weekly forecasts. To get really specifics as to when is a good time for new moon intentions or new year intentions. And so you guys can go follow me and listen. But the point is like we have these opportunities to figure out what it is that we want to initiate. What is it that we want to start fresh and new? As long as we take the time and just look at it, it's like, what do I really need to leave behind? What am I leaving behind? What am I not letting go of? Like
right. What's that teddy bear that's all covered with claw marks that I won't?
Yes, I know. Yeah, and so, I mean, I'm ready for some new things to emerge, and but the old things still they still linger. And
well, we know them; they're familiar. The thing is, one thing I don't think most people understand it. Unfortunately, I had the old classically school trained parents who thought you absolutely had to have Latin to be educated.
Yeah.
Trust me, you could go your whole life without knowing a word out of Latin and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But in the Roman times, New Year's was actually in the spring. It was not in the winter. And they moved it to the winter to actually match more of the European countries they were conquering, to more match the cycles and fit into their social norms. But the New Year really used to be in the springtime in Aries, and that was the New Year. And so now got 2 major planets sitting on the edge of the New Year.
Yeah.
And what are they going to bring in?
Yeah. And so you might want to be able to figure out where that is for your own astrology, just to know what area is getting lit up by the movement of these two planets into the sign of Aries as they make that conjunction on February 20th. And which is good. So you can contemplate that, or you can just look at it, because I know a lot of your followers, and mine too. I mean, they love doing ritual and deeper
Hmm.
meditation, or just anything. I mean, you can even put that intention out as you're getting ready to go do your yoga class,
Hmm.
and just figure out, it's like, what I need to flow better. I want to move. I want to be able to move into whatever is next. And one of the other bigger shifts that happen is definitely an energy shift, an elemental shift, is for 2025, we've had a lot of planets in the earth and water signs. So that's the
Hmm.
yin, the feminine, the receptive, the feeling, the flow. And I mean, who isn't overwhelmed at this point, right? And the processes that we're going through, Jupiter and Cancer, these grand trines in water that we're still working on as we're recording this in early December. And
Hmm.
so a lot of emotion and a lot of feeling, and um, it's important for us. Hopefully, we've learned, and if we haven't, you're going to learn right away. How to protect yourself, or how to at least protect your peace. Right?
Hmm.
Don't go into situations that are stressful. Just say this before Thanksgiving, but
How
over,
much fun was Thanksgiving?
it's okay. And so, but it was important, and it's still important. You didn't miss it, but to understand what your own needs are, your own emotional needs, right?
Hmm.
And how you can care for yourself and nurture, and just all of these things. They're just so important. And the heavy focus on earth and water, again, both being the yin polarity, bringing that in. So spend the rest of the year, and honestly, we have this until that Neptune Saturn shift into the fire sign of Aries, and then Uranus into the air sign of Gemini.
Right.
Pluto's already in an air sign. It's finally staying in Aquarius. And so we're shifting slowly as we move further into 2026 into the fire and air elements, which is about yang, which is about taking action and momentum forward. And how are we going to do that? And sometimes that fiery Aries energy, we just rush into things. And it's just like a fireman rushing into the fire. They're only trained to know what to do, but it's just like rushing into something without thinking it through. So that probably wasn't the best example.
Well, the other thing is to remind you that it's not just you that's having sort of your interplanetary buttons pushed, but so
Right.
are all the people around you.
The whole world. The whole
So
world is,
yeah,
yeah,
so if you felt a little like you were drowning,
yeah,
probably a lot of the people around you were feeling very much like they were drowning.
yeah.
And if all of a sudden something hits your water and makes it boil,
Mm,
that's a universal thing. And those are good things for us to pay attention to
so
roll
important.
with the flow of the energy.
Yeah, it's so important. It's so important to take responsibility for, yourself.
Hmm.
I'm not saying other people don't elicit a response, because a lot of people do.
Hmm.
That's pretty typical. Mostly us humans, it's somebody outside of us that show us something within us that we need to see,
Yeah.
whether we like that or not. Some of it we don't need. I remember people telling me that way back in the beginning of my journey. It's like, well, if somebody's pissing you off, what is it about yourself that's
That's
upsetting you? And
somebody said if you really meet somebody who pisses you off and you just can't even figure out why, look at them closely and figure out how that's in you.
yeah, that's it. And that's hard to swallow sometimes.
Oh no, I never doesn't. I think they were lying, Dorothy. I just don't believe it.
It's so hard to swallow that truth. But once you do, then you learn how to better handle things and how to take care of yourself. And again, with so much earth and water happening, planets in earth and water. Currently, as we're talking, we still have that strong earth and water vibe, and it's important for us to figure out how to be grounded, how to take care, like I said, protect your peace, take care of your own situations, and make sure you're safe and comforted, because being overburdened and having just too much, it just creates anxiety, and then you're no good for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Your poor body doesn't feel great. Things just get out of whack, and and there's that. But we need to trust ourselves, and the fire and the air energy that comes is will be helpful, as long as will be helpful. But I can't say as long as, because that sounds like a threat. But I want you to take care of your emotional needs first,
Right.
before we get to that, which again, it initiates in February-ish, when all those planets get into Aries and Gemini, blah, blah, blah. So take care of yourself and do the things that you need to do just to feel better, because that's just going to be so important. And then when we do get to the fire energy and the air energy, air and it's intuitive, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not soft, like feeling emotions. It's intuitive when you just know something, because the air energy. So with Pluto and Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, they will make trines throughout. They'll make a trine throughout the year, and so our intuition can amp up, just our knowing information. The AI is going to do a big jump, of course, but let's keep this to personal at this point. Just trust your intuition and do the things that you need to clear, so you can be able to receive.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's really leaving yourself open to be able to really receive
Mhm.
information and not cutting yourself off. Because I think what most people have done is, a lot of people just shut down
Mhm. Yeah.
and they don't open up. I
I
know
know.
when I went to picking the stones for my Advent calendar, I'm running 2 different Advent crystals. One is on YouTube, and it's the ones we did last year, which I shared with a lot of really good readers. And then I'm also doing a segment of them on Substack every day.
Yeah. I'm getting those emails every day.
And they're just little, they're really short. They're like 5-6 minutes long, because I don't want to work that hard. But when I went when I went to pulling rocks, the
Yeah.
rocks that I ended up pulling were the grounding rocks,
Nice.
the ancestral rocks, the ones that take us back to think about how long we've come from certain places. I showed a stone that I have called a stromabolite that's 3.5 billion years old. It's one of the oldest stones that exists on the earth. And
Wow.
I mean, it's right as soon as
Maybe that one came in with the sugars on it. NASA just found that asteroid with all those things on it that
yeah.
create human life.
Well,
It's
and they're
amazing.
finding a lot of stuff but this is after the earth formed, and then it was a big hot mess.
Mhm.
It was, it didn't even have seas. It just had just the gases and everything of it being a ball of fire. And as it finally cooled down enough to have water and start to have seas, that was 3.8 billion years ago.
Wow. It's
And
crazy.
then this stone is 3 billion years old. And it's fascinating, because when you look at it, you see all the intricate work that the plants laying down their
Mhm.
algae. It was algae laying down its tissue, what it left. And you think, none of these processes are quick. And the problem is, I want it and I want it now.
Right.
And you can't always pick the when you want it.
I know. Yeah, that's true. That's really true. Yeah. And so, where do we go from here? Right.
Well, I've had a lot of people ask me. I'm doing a lot of 12-month readings.
Okay.
And you can go to my website at crystaldirections.com. I can find yeah. No, that's the email. Hide. Is that the email? No, that's the best you can do. Okay. You go to crystaldirections.com, but this is my email. And I'm doing 12-month readings now. You can buy a past life reading if that's what you'd rather. But I'm going to warn y'all, today's the day. Tomorrow at midnight and the 10th at midnight, all the prices go back up. I've had a sale on, and it's been
Good for you.
20% off. And so if you want to order readings, that's where you need to go. Go to the shop and you can find them.
You're
And
so helpful. You get the recording, and every month you can go back, because I've done it with you, and it's just like, oh yeah, what'd she tell me about November? What'd she tell me about December? It's fabulous. Yeah.
yeah. And one woman, one of the women I've already read this year, and I'm like, last year I was like, really didn't want to read anybody because I felt like 2025 was going to be 2025. But one of the women that I read yesterday, she's just retired. She's getting used to being retired and figuring out her life and how to live it that way. And her January was like the 9 of Swords. I mean, it was just
that's tough.
awful.
That sounds
and
tough.
I kept telling her, now that you've been forewarned, don't fall into that. If that starts up, realize it's because you have gone through such a life change. Because she was like, right, oh well, I've retired, but now I can do this and this and this. And I said, but you have those things out on a schedule. Finally, by the end of the reading, she admitted that she sometimes couldn't remember whether it was Tuesday or Thursday because she so used her corporate life to create her march forward, and she hasn't created her own calendar. And what we watched happen as we laid out the 12 months of the cards was each month she got stronger in finding her own patterns, finding her own new people, finding the folks she wanted to work with. So she went from having the 9 of Swords in January to the Magician in December.
Fabulous. That's fabulous.
So and a lot of that's just knowing this stuff's happening around me, and yes, it's real. I'm not making it up. I'm not being a crybaby. There's just times you need to sit down and cry.
Right. And the emotions are like that. I don't know if I want this light on or not. It's so dark in here. Oh, it shows back. It's getting dark early.
We can see.
Good, as long as you can see me. Yeah, it's like it's almost, the sun will be down in about a half hour here in the.
Oh, that's right. You're up in the.
Yeah. The sun goes down at 4:10. I know, it's terrible. It's awful. We're not quite at the 30 to 21st, because then it's still going down. And what was I going to talk about? Another thing that we could focus on, just the overall picture, is that 2025 wasn't this way, but the Mercury retrogrades were in 2 different elements, because they were crossing the border of zodiac signs, water and fire. But this year coming up in 2026, I do believe all the Mercury retrogrades are in water. And when they're in water signs, so all 3 of the retrogrades are in the signs that are water. And so the vibe around that is, even though I've already said we're shifting most from the water and the earth into, so the yin, into a more action focused, the fire and the air, which we are. However, the planet of communication that Mercury is, its retrogrades will be in water. So that will give us an opportunity to start to integrate a little bit more.
Right.
Heavy water, earth, 2025, heavy fire, air, 2026. But the Mercury retrograde is going to help us to bring that together. So again, balance your chi, balance your masculine, feminine, balance the yin yang in your chart, just in your life. It's going to be important to pay attention to that, because that will help us find a little more equilibrium in whatever your current life circumstances are. Because of course, everybody's going through something. We can have one of the most amazing transits that everybody's saying, oh, this is so good, blah, blah, all these good things. But if you've just had a great loss, or something really big has gone on in your life and you're not feeling it, it's just, the point is like, not everything you hear is going to be exactly for you, but you have an opportunity, we all have an opportunity to get more in alignment with what's going on in our own lives, in our own world, so we can put ourselves in, a better emotional place, so we can then take the actions that we need to take for whatever's important for us.
That's right.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we were all looking forward to the solar eclipse that went across the U.S., right?
Mhm.
And I sat on my front porch and watched this total solar eclipse.
Yeah.
I was so excited, and I got to watch it all, and I was all built up for it and everything. But what I didn't realize was after that, I had a series of little illnesses, nothing big, just
Mhm.
things I couldn't quite shake. So I had a healer who started to work with me, and she said, it's kind of a long story, but I have a cage kind of around me that stops energy from getting in. So
Okay.
that, yeah. And she said, what is this cage that's around you, and why is it leaking out the right side? And that's exactly where all the things were happening in my body.
Yeah.
And she said she worked together with her healing team to fix my cage. And she said, oh my God, that happened when you were watching the solar eclipse.
Oh, burn
And
something
here
off.
was this thing that I was so excited to get to see, and
Mhm.
it cracked my cage.
Well, it was the solar eclipse is a new moon, and so that means the moon is dark.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get to see that little ring around it for like 5 seconds or however
Mm-hmm.
long it is. And yeah, so eclipses are like that. They can bring things to us just so unexpected. They are unpredictable because it is a dark moon and anything can slip in through. And again, depending on where it was in your chart, what house it was in, an eclipse in one of the houses that's about our health and our wellness,
Mm-hmm.
you have to pay attention for the year.
And obviously I didn't. See,
Yeah, I don't know if that's what house you had it in, but the point is like, yeah, it matters.
whatever it was, the little critter snuck by.
Yeah, for real. All right, it's just getting too dark in here. Sorry, one more flash with the lights.
Okay, one more flash. Then now you look good. You don't have to mess with it.
Yeah. Are there any questions on your? I
Um.
can't see my page.
Okay.
So
Someone says I've heard a lot of astrologers say that this year. Let's see. I've heard a lot of astrologers say very fortunate, especially because of the fire and air signs.
okay. And again, it varies depending on what's going on in your chart, right? Where all of these things are. We have we have some nice conjunctions and some trine energy and things like that. And it can be very easy and it can be very fortunate. I think Jupiter in June 9th, just the day before my birthday, we have, I think it's Jupiter and Venus conjunct right at a specific point. It's like 26 degrees of Cancer. Very fortunate aspect. Jupiter's exalted in Cancer. It loves that sign. But where it's at in my chart and what it's doing to my chart, I am like, I got a caution up on that day because personally, it's going to be a caution sign for a lot of different reasons that I don't need to go into. But for other people, it can be a fabulous day. So that's just pretty much like what this lady just said. There are fortunate opportunities throughout the year, just like there are for 2025, even though it was just an absolute you-know-what show, 2025 in our country anyways, and others. There are still some good things that happened in a lot of people's lives. So we just have to not take it with a grain of salt because they mean it. I mean it. I mean it when I give you forecasts about things. But we still have to be able to apply it to our own astrology. And, sometimes a very fortunate aspect could just mean that if you're having a really bad day, it's not as bad as it could be. I don't mean to say it that way.
And also, if you realize this isn't a forever thing.
That's right. Yeah.
What I'm going to tell you, I've done, Dorothy, is I've broken my chat. The reason I've broken my chat is I don't take questions during psychic profiles, and I've been doing those now for 3 months. And so people have been, they just don't comment, and because they're not used to. But if you do have a comment, we're
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I had to have to get my phone
And if all else fails, we can look at my chart once again and see if I'm going to die anytime soon.
No, I won't do that on public view.
I know.
not going to
You
do
didn't want
that.
to do it in private view when I sent it to you at your home on Sunday. On
Did
that
you?
Sunday. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can't even tell that I have anything live going on. I don't know if I do or not. I can't tell. It doesn't look like
you
it.
do, because I'm seeing people that are crossed.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we are. Okay. Oh, I got 5 people watching. Yay.
Yay. Well, I always
Uh,
announce it, even if I announce the wrong time, which is the other thing. At first, I put us at the wrong time, and then I went in 2 hours later and fixed it to the right time.
yeah. Yeah. That's good. I appreciate it. All right. So what else can we talk about? Another thing that I thought was really nice and exciting.
What?
These are my notes for 2026, by the way, folks. I did a lecture. It's on my website for sale. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes long, and I go through the whole year. So you're welcome just to go to my website. You can see my email at my website address right below my face. And just click on the tab that says 2026, and you can read all about it, because I go through all of the aspects, everything we've sort of just touched on today, and they do it in order so you can look at it month to month. And but it's not the daily stuff. That would just come to YouTube Shorts for that. But yeah, there's a lot. But another thing that I thought was really interesting, and just a little political right now, just the way I'm looking at what's going on with, we have midterm elections will be coming up in that.
Right, in November.
Right. And Jupiter enters Leo on June 30th, and it will stay in that sign until July of 2027. I think it's fabulous, because that just shows me that there's just going to be a lot of youth, fresh faces that will most likely throw their hat into the ring, if you will, to just give us a whole new approach to politics. It's hard to be old. I'm one of those old white people. I just, which are fine. We have wisdom, but I'm excited to see new young people get in, you know, and to really start, um, just to really start moving things in another direction, because we need to move in a different direction. What's
And
going
they're
on?
going to move us. It's like Mondani is not, it didn't pop out of nowhere. The new mayor of New York, and his different thinking. It's what the young people have said for a long time. And then here's somebody else said we need fresh ideas, which is we do. And you're going to see
Regina, hi.
You're going to see a lot of clearing out, because the primaries start in January. They start happening in Iowa and those places. And all of a sudden, you're going to see a lot of new, fresh ideas. You're going to see a lot of old politicians literally be driven out of their jobs and quitting them.
It's time.
And it just happened. Yeah, it just happened in Texas. Jasmine Crockett threw her hat in the ring. And
that's what I'm thinking when I see people like that. And I know Jupiter isn't entering Leo until June 30th, maybe the 29th, if you're on the West Coast.
The two Democrats that are now running in the primary are Jasmine Crockett, who's 40, and Tallarico, who is 36.
Oh.
And Colin is an old man of 50 some, but he pulled and he moved over to a congressional seat that he thought he could win, because they completely redrew our maps. I mean, nothing in this state is normal.
Right. Yeah, so, that's right. You're in Texas.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to somebody who's going to be working with Jasmine's campaign, and they were telling me that they're also working on some campaigns in South Carolina. And the Harris County, where Houston is, has more people in it than South Carolina.
Wow.
And so,
that's a lot.
And that's why it's been so hard to move things, because it's so incredibly, at least in Texas, it's so incredibly expensive to run a candidate. When you could take the money you might use to run one candidate in Texas and spread it out among 6 candidates in other parts of the country and get as much. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot there, and I'm excited for that. I mean, I know Jupiter in Cancer is exalted in that sign, and that just means that
Hmm.
it's really happy there. It works beautifully in that sign, but on which is fine on one hand. On the other hand, I feel that it tends to stir things up. Jupiter is the great benefic, is what we call it, but and it brings in good things. But sometimes too much of a thing is
How
too much.
how many years does it take for Jupiter to go through the whole zodiac?
12,
12.
12 years. So usually,
So
so
think about where you were 12 years ago, guys.
exactly, exactly. And Jupiter's changing signs in June, July right now.
Hmm.
So, and it slowly just ekes its way because it's not a clean 12 years. It's 12 years and a few
Yeah,
a
I know.
few weeks, a few days. And so I just Jupiter in Cancer, it's retrograde right now here in December. It will be all the way through till March, I think. Um, it, it creates too much of whatever it's focusing on. And so since we're a Cancer nation, that's just why we're just a hot spot right now. And well, there's a few hot spots in the world, but we're definitely one of them. And it brings things to a head. And there's just too much emotion. It's just like a 2-year-old in the grocery store that is just overwhelmed. They don't know what to do, and they're just on the floor pitching a fit. And that's what I feel like sometimes this Jupiter in Cancer feels like, that we just get overwhelmed with too much emotion, too many feelings, and we're so overly sensitive that it's just important. We started with this. It's just important that we figure out what we need to take care of ourselves, you know,
Mhm.
and do the nurturing just to get that adrenal system a little back into check, if you will. And then when that Jupiter goes into Leo, it's going to be a fiery summer. There's going to be a lot going on once we get to the last day of June into July next year. It'll be busy, it'll be big, and it'll be exciting. And
And so,
then, yeah, go ahead.
so if you think things are really too calm around you right now, understand they will change.
It will change. Or people are so dramatic and overly emotional that you
Hmm.
can take that either. Then figure out what you can do. Grab some earth and just ground yourself, just like you were saying. You grabbed a lot of grounding stones, like you said, and just bring that back into
Go get yourself a giant chunk of obsidian.
obsidian. That's gorgeous. Yeah, that's nice. I usually have an obsidian ring that I love to wear when I go out. But yeah,
He makes beautiful jewelry.
yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's a great cut.
And
Yeah.
my worry stone is the snowflake obsidian. It's
Oh,
not
nice.
black or white. It's
Oh,
kind
there
of
you
both.
go. It's got a little snowflake in it. I don't have any rocks. I have this right here. It's always right here. It's just a piece of it's green. What is it called? It's from space. It's
Moldavite.
it's Moldavite, yes.
It's from space. It's not.
It's not
It
from
was
space. It's
space
from
came
the
to land
meteor.
here, and it created a crater,
Green.
and
That's right.
that's what we call a tektite. And
Yeah.
it's a stone that the stars make.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely Moldavite because it's the green glassy thing. They do have
Hmm.
Tektite too, but not
You
here.
can keep that close to you because some people can't even stay in the same room
I'm
with
used to it. I'm a Gemini. I got a lot
you.
of air.
Yeah, you
I'm
have
used to it.
nothing worries me.
Excuse me. At first, it was a little much, but now it's not. I can get it. We do have one more. I need a sip of water. We do have one more thing.
What?
It's dry in here. Um, Venus retrogrades this year,
Mm-hmm.
but not till the end. Retrogrades, let's see, October 3rd to November 13th
Mm-hmm.
next year. We'll talk about that again as we get closer sometime. But it does cross the line, the border. So it's retrograde in Scorpio, early Scorpio, and it goes back into Libra.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you, relationships are going to be exciting or tumultuous. or both.
What are the dates on that?
It starts October 3rd and it ends November 13th,
Oh, right across the election. So that sounds just perfect.
2026. That's true. We also have Mercury retrograde. I'm looking at my slide notes. This is like slide 35 in the presentation. October 24th to November 13th is Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Oh, I had to look at that chart. I'm curious. So we're going to have Venus and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio at the elections. Oh, that's right. Venus and Mercury go direct on the same day, November 13th. I do remember that now. Boy.
You said that's right around her birthday. Thanks for the heads up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's just a period, we have an opportunity to reflect during the retrogrades. But let me tell you, when Venus is retrograde, we're tempted to just use Venus because it feels like the boundaries are down, right? The gates are down, but it can cause problems. We can invest money poorly. We can commit to a relationship that we shouldn't. It's definitely emphasizes those deeper, darker feelings, not dark negative, just the deeper feelings, right, that we have around money and relationships. And so we tend to karmic. It's a very karmic time period for relationships. Yeah.
Could you tell them a little more about your 2026 reviews? It's something you can get right now on Dorothy's website.
Yeah, you can.
Let me
let me break it down. I do all of the major aspects.
What's your website, Dorothy?
Dorothy Morgan astrologer.com.
Okay.
You've already put it in there. It's under my face.
Oh, okay.
It's under my face.
Okay.
But basically, I start the overview, and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, so it's more than an overview. It's actually pretty in depth. But and if you go onto my website and click on just the tab that says 2026, you can read, and I outlined it there as well. But I talk about the numerology, the 9 to the 1. I talk about the elemental shift, which we're shifting from earth, water, more to the fire, air. I talk about the planets like Neptune and Saturn as they move into Aries. Talk about like Uranus going direct. And then when the eclipses come up, those are in February, March. Talk about those eclipses, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, on and on. The Mercury retrogrades. When Uranus enters Gemini, that isn't until April 26th. So that's why there's kind of like an overlap of the year when it comes to, the things we've already talked about, the 9 and the 1, and then the elemental shift. And and then we just keep going, and Pluto does its retrograde, and it's just July is a big overview. I do a big overview in July because there's a lot of little aspects in July that are really dynamic, right? So July has a lot of energy around action, and that's when Jupiter enters Leo. There we go. Spit that one out. Venus is in early Gemini. Neptune is in early Aries, as well as Saturn, and then Pluto is in early Aquarius. So there's just a lot of fire and air, so the Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, these 5 planets are just constantly activating each other, and it's just really busy in Gemini.
Do you provide the dates in your show when you're doing your 2-hour show?
It's in the PDF file that goes with the lecture.
Okay, so you're going to have it even in writing.
Yeah, you'll have the list of the aspects that happen, and you get a PDF of the lecture itself, and I will email you the link to the recording. That's the only piece that's automatic. My web designer has not been feeling well, so she has.
Traveling Mystic, I think, is going to come visit you, so that's good. So could anybody else who sees this, please.
Yeah.
Dorothy and I do this work at the beginning of the new year so that maybe you don't, well, we want you to use this all year long, but
For real. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good lecture, and you can follow it with the PDF file that comes with it. You can follow along there.
Mhm.
You get the PDF. I just turned the PowerPoint into a PDF file. So
Mhm.
you actually have that copy, and then you will have a copy of the recording. You'll be able to access that throughout the year.
And trust me, once you get something like that and you learn how to use it, learn how to follow for the dates,
Mhm.
you really start to understand the total. Astrology is such a cyclical nature thing.
Yeah.
And, um, it's easier if you kind of start with like moons, following moon cycles and seeing how they
Mhm.
work. But
Yeah.
if you just follow them, um, it's when you first start, you're overwhelmed and you're like, I can't keep track of all this crap.
Mhm.
Once you get into it and you see how it's hit um, when things click with your chart, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And a forecast like this, there's a lot of information, and which is fabulous. So you can plan and take notes. When I would do it in person, people would have their journals for the next year, their calendar journals, and they would make notes about certain things. And it really matters, because you have this opportunity just to make notes and what really resonates with you. And
Hmm.
if you're an astrologer yourself, practicing, it will help you learn how to work with transits to your chart. You know, you can
Hmm.
practice that too. But that's more than a lot of people have, and that's fine because a lot of people that's okay too. But you know, it's you can learn, you can play with it too. You can just play with it and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're clearing the deck for 2025 is a clearing the deck, if you will, an old nautical term. And, and then 2026 has given us these opportunities to start to step into some new
Yeah, 'cause
things.
a year ago when you and I were talking, we had no idea what was going to be coming up. I mean, well, we did. We looked at the planets, but we're like, really?
Yeah, because there was just so much, and we know that, we all know that the changes that have been happening,
Hmm.
between one, it's just every day is it's another show. Sorry, YouTube doesn't mind swear words, so
Oh, YouTube doesn't like me lots.
no, they don't mind swear words. I know people that swear all the time on YouTube. Point is, um, it's not wrong. It is. It's what 2025 has been like. It's been quite a show. Um,
But whoever thought it would go as fast as it went?
I'm floored. I'm absolutely floored that I'm this cold already. It takes me till July to warm up. We're in the single digits soon, and it's just so cold. The sun
Yeah.
goes down
Well,
so
it's
early.
taking me a while to warm up, and I'm not where it's that cold. So,
Yeah, yeah, I know it.
and the other thing is, Dorsey can do other things. If you have a specific date or time or something you want to look at, she can pull your chart up and work with you on that because she and I do that for me. And
Mhm.
I'm going to teach you a new word in the wonderful world of astrology, electional astrology, and it doesn't have anything to do with political elections.
No,
What it
it's
means is,
electing times to do
yeah,
stuff.
it
Yeah,
means you choose to do
yeah.
something on a certain date or time because for you, the planets are better. And I
Mhm.
used to just go ahead and schedule classes and when I was going to announce things and stuff. And I didn't pay much attention to that. Now I call Dorothy and say, I have this idea coming up and this is my time frame. And she will give me the times that are better. And so far, that's been a pretty good method for me to work with her.
Yeah, yeah. And then I do stuff throughout the week. I do weekly stuff on Patreon, and have membership on Patreon and YouTube. Excuse me. Yeah, I got a cough. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, the weekly stuff. You get it ahead of time, and it really hones in on all of it. So you get like a half-hour forecast every week
Mm-hmm.
in those membership platforms, so you can really hone in. But the year ahead is fabulous for everything we've just been talking about. Just give us that overview. So I would never give you an overview saying that the year is going to be fantastic. But I will give you an overview saying that the year looks like there are always ups and downs. And we have a lot to work with this year. This is a year coming up for any of us to make changes that we've been wanting to make. The old ways are just not happening anymore. It just like our whole political system is being just stripped down. And so what are we going to build on after that?
Right.
And the same, that's a metaphor, but it's real. In your own personal life, where are you? What are you done doing? How are you going to move forward? And so much of these energies of the air and the fire that's in the sky just gives us these opportunities really to find a new place and a new path for ourselves. A lot of people energetic, the 5D vibe stuff. I don't know what else to call it because, I know what it is. I don't pay attention to it, but, my best. But there's an awful lot going on there too. And there's just new vibes coming in that we can't even predict about yet because, well, first off, Uranus and Gemini. We're just gonna who knows what we're gonna know by the end of next year. It's just no way to know, right?
Right. Well, there's no way to know what decision you're going to make with the information that's handed to you. But if you have some idea that it's going to be up, down, turned around, or whatever, that can kind of help you.
Gives you the heads up.
And also, it doesn't hurt to think about it because I think sometimes people don't even think about it and stuff just happens like, oh, who'd ever thought that was going to happen? Well, maybe if you thought about it, it'd have been okay.
Attitude matters too, Your own perspective and the lens you're looking through matters.
Oh,
That's why we have differences of opinions because we all see things through our own lens and our own life history and experiences. So, yeah, something good doesn't necessarily mean it's good for everybody, and something bad isn't necessarily bad for everybody. It's just important to remember that, The astrologers that are absolutely certain that everything is going to be one way or another, they're fooling themselves. They just need. It's nice to be positive about stuff, and I always do my best to see what's the best way to work with something. But stuff still happens, and things aren't always great. But then they are, and then they aren't. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in closing, I can't tell you that I'm just so excited that Dorothy came and did a year-end show with me.
Yay.
And this is the one sort of legitimate show because all the rest of the things I've been doing have been my psychic profiles, and those all start up again the end of this week. I'm doing some more. Keep watching for your notes. Look for my Crystal Advent information. I am doing readings. The sales end tomorrow at midnight. Trust me, I have it set up. They're going to go away.
Right.
So, if you want to.
I haven't done any sales, but you're more than welcome to come buy gift certificates on my website too.
Yeah, and get friends certificates. Let them learn about the wonderful world of what we have going on for us.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you, Dorothy, for coming by, and thank all the people who showed up. And I will talk to the chat later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.